All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're doing more than just telling a story. We're going to dissect it. We are breaking down the first 30 days of a revenge plot that was planned down to the last detail. We're going to look at every single decision, every transaction, and every lie that built its foundation. Let's get into it. So, our story kicks off right here. And it doesn't start with some grand scheme, but with this phantom pain. For a man named Arav, this isn't just a bad memory. No, it's the alarm clock that wakes him up every single morning. It is the engine that's going to power literally every action he takes from this point on. And you know, that pain, it triggers something immediate, something decisive. On day one, he doesn't just start planning, he starts to disappear. So what's the goal? To become a ghost in his own life? Okay, so his first move is to cut ties with his professional identity. He fakes a doctor's note, sends an email at the crack of dawn, and then just ignores the two calls from HR. And just like that, poof. Arav, the IT guy, he just doesn't exist anymore. This is way more than just quitting a job. It's like he's pulling the first brick from the building of his entire former self. Now, with his career completely gone, he starts this cold, almost robotic process of turning his past into untraceable cash. You have to understand, every object he owns holds a memory, and for his plan to work, every single memory has got to be sold. First to go, his Royal Enfield motorcycle. He sells it for a thick stack of cash in a super crowded cafe. That bike was a symbol of his freedom, and now it's just liquidated. And next up is his gaming laptop. I mean, think about it. Countless hours of his life, all those digital escapes, all of it just turned into another bundle of notes. Another piece of who he was just gone. And this is where it gets really chilling. He even sells a silver chain from his late mother, melts it down for its cash value. It just goes to show you that in service of this new mission, absolutely nothing is sacred. So here's the crucial point. This was never just about raising money. Every single sale was like a deliberate, painful amputation. He is surgically removing the man he used to be, one transaction at a time. So by the second week, he's got this war chest of over 2.8 lakh rupees. And now, the mission completely shifts. It's no longer about erasing his past, it's about building his future. He needs a physical space, right? A private little theater for his plan, which he ominously starts calling the grave. And this slide just perfectly illustrates the new reality of his life. On one hand, he's telling Sneha, the woman at the very center of all this pain, that he's just a freelance coder meeting clients. But in reality, he's on a beat-up rented scooter, methodically searching for the perfect, isolated spot. He's living two completely separate lives, and the gap between them is getting wider every single day. Now, what's so fascinating about this is the sheer logic of it all. I mean, look at this. He's analyzing locations with the cold detachment of a project manager. He's not looking for a hideout. He is sourcing a venue. He's weighing the pros and cons, everything from flood risk to how many people are around. All the emotion, it's gone, replaced by pure, chilling calculation. And then he finds it, a massive, bankrupt cold storage warehouse. It's perfect, it's isolated, it has its own power source, and it's basically built like a fortress already, with thick insulation and heavy steel doors. For 38 lakh rupees, paid entirely in cash, he buys his stage. The very first time he stands inside that vast, empty space, everything changes. The echoes of his own footsteps just confirm his solitude and his purpose. That abstract desire for revenge, it suddenly becomes a concrete architectural certainty. The plan is no longer just an idea in his head. Now it has a home. All right, let's jump to weeks 3 and 4. This is where the money and the location get forged into the physical foundation of his plan. The fortress really starts to take shape. He basically goes on a financial rampage. Credit cards? Maxed out. His entire stock and crypto portfolio liquidated for a huge profit. In just a matter of days, his liquid assets skyrocket to over 1.2 crore. This isn't just about funding something anymore. This is total, all-in commitment. And that money gets put to work immediately. He hires laborers, off the books, pays them in cash, no questions asked, and they get started reinforcing the warehouse, welding extra steel plates, sealing every last crack, and basically turning an abandoned building into a secure, soundproof vault. But as his secret world becomes more real, the lies he needs to protect it have to get more elaborate. Sneha's suspicion is growing, which leads to a really close call. She texts him, "Where are you really?" while he's literally standing inside his concrete fortress. His reply? A fake selfie from some random cafe. The deception is now a full-time job. Well, this all comes to a head on day 28. The tension that's been simmering this whole time finally boils over, and in this one confrontation, we see just how much Arav has truly changed. And there it is. She sees it. She finally confronts him, not about a specific lie, but about this fundamental change in who he is. She can sense that coldness that he just can't hide anymore. The mask is slipping. And this is probably the most terrifying moment of the whole story. Because while he's reassuring her with a kiss on the outside, his internal monologue reveals the brutal truth. The memory of her knife isn't just a source of pain for him anymore. He's taken that weapon for himself. The victim has fully and silently become the predator. So, there you have it. In just 30 days, the transformation is complete. The old Arav has been systematically dismantled and sold off. A secure fortress has been built from the ashes of his past life, and a dark, singular purpose has taken root. And this whole story, this whole process, it leaves us with a really unsettling question, right? Arav's journey shows us this terrifying alternative to healing, a path where pain isn't overcome, but instead is meticulously honed and sharpened into a weapon. As the first month comes to a close, he's just standing there, alone in his fortress with a single light bulb glowing in this immense darkness. And his whisper just hangs in the air, a promise of everything that's to come. The foundation is laid. The real work is about to begin.